Hello everyone, welcome back to TechBits Learning. In our previous video, we explored Azure regions, availability zones, and Microsoft's global infrastructure. Now imagine you are working in a company that has 500 virtual machines, 200 storage accounts, hundreds of databases, and multiple virtual networks. Have you wondered how do you organize all these resources? How do different departments manage their own resources? How does a company control billing and access? This is exactly where management groups, subscriptions, and resource groups come into the picture. By the end of this video, you will understand the hierarchy Azure uses to organize resources, and trust me, this is one of the most commonly asked interview topics for Azure administrator and cloud engineer roles. Let's get started. Now, the first question comes, why do we need organization in Azure? Imagine a large multinational company with offices in India, UAE, UK, and United States. Each office has different applications, users, budgets, and IT teams. Now imagine storing everything in one place. What will happen? Finding resources would become confusing. Permissions would be difficult to manage. Billing would become almost impossible to understand. Azure solves this problem using a structured hierarchy. Think of it like organizing files on your computer. Instead of placing everything on your desktop, you create folders and subfolders. Azure follows a very similar approach. Now let's jump to Azure hierarchy overview. Azure organizes resources in the following hierarchy. Management group, then comes subscription, then comes resource group, and at the end resources. For example, a company will have a finance department. A finance department will have a finance subscription. Under the finance subscription, we will have finance resource group. And under the finance resource group, we'll have virtual machines, storage accounts, SQL database. Every Azure resource belongs to a resource group, and every resource group belongs to a subscription. Management group. What is a management group? A management group sits at the top of Azure's hierarchy. It helps organizations manage multiple subscriptions together. For example, a company may have separate subscriptions for production, development, testing, different countries. Instead of configuring policies and permissions for each subscription individually, administrators can apply them once at the management group level. All child subscriptions automatically inherit those settings. Large enterprises commonly use management groups to apply Azure policies, assign RBAC permissions, control governance, and standardize security. What is an Azure subscription? A subscription is like a billing account and security boundary. Every Azure resource must belong to a subscription. A subscription determines billing, resource quotas, spending limits, and access control. For example, a company may create production subscription, development subscription, disaster recovery subscription. Each subscription has its own billing and resource limits. This makes cost tracking much easier. Now let's talk about resource groups. One of the logical feature in Azure hierarchy. What is a resource group? A resource group is simply a logical container that holds related Azure resources. For example, an HR application may contain virtual machine, SQL database, storage account, virtual network, load balancer. Instead of managing each resource individually, Azure groups them into one resource group. Benefits include easier management, simplified monitoring, centralized permissions, easier deployment, and simplified deletion when required. Remember this interview point. Every Azure resource must belong to exactly one resource group. However, resources inside the resource group can be located in different Azure regions if the service supports it. Now let's talk about real world example. Imagine you are working for a bank. The bank has three departments: retail banking, credit cards, and loans. The Azure hierarchy could look like this: management group, then comes bank organization, then comes production subscription, and then retail banking resource group that ultimately contains virtual machines, storage, SQL database, and Azure firewall. Another resource group could host credit card applications. This structure keeps resources organized, secure, and easy to manage. Dear friends, now I am going to talk about some Azure best practices, which is recommended by Microsoft Azure. The first comes: create separate subscriptions for production and development, use meaningful resource group names, apply RBAC using least privilege, organize subscriptions under management groups, and tag resources for better cost management. These practices are followed by most enterprise organizations. Now, friends, what is the conclusion and call to action for today's episode? Today, we learned Azure management groups, Azure subscriptions, Azure resource groups, Azure hierarchy, and real world enterprise implementation. If this video helped you understand how Azure organizes resources, please like this video, subscribe to TechBits Learning, and share it with others starting their cloud journey. In the next video, we will explore Azure virtual machines, how to create them, choose the right VM size, and understand the key components every Azure administrator should know. Thank you for watching TechBits Learning. See you in the next video. Dear friends, I have an interview question for you. Can a resource group contain resources from different Azure regions? Please feel free to reply in the comment section and I will review as soon as possible. Till the time, stay tuned and keep watching TechBits Learning. Always remember, learn cloud, build future, and grow together. Thank you.